Happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com. This is Disconnect to Connect, one word conversations. Now, one word conversations is brought to you by, or one way that I like to spotlight what is on I Am William Brown is to introduce our U cards, and our U cards are available on I Am William Brown. And they set intentions. And so the intentions for this conversation is I am heard, you are curious, and be you, the world will adjust. So with those intentions set within this conversation, I will introduce our word. Our word today is help. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I've been looking at this word for like a week or so because I do some marketing things behind it and set those things up. And when I introduced the word, the Beatles song for some of you that are old enough to remember that just went through my head, and it's like the first time it did. So so our word is help, and there's a number of ways that help shows up and it doesn't show up in my life. So let's bring in my friend and we'll have a conversation. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, William.
Oh, this is the moment where I ask my guests to introduce themselves however it feels comfortable to them.
Well, I'll make it brief here.
Okay.
I know we got a lot to talk about with that one word.
Okay.
But yeah, I have been in the fitness and health industry for about 20 years now. I really feel like that's my calling. And one of the reasons I was put here on earth is to help people with their health and their fitness and beyond. And so I have done a variety of things, through personal training and classes and public speaking and corporate wellness and supplement help and even kind of natural remedies for health. And so I've just been in that realm for 20 years now, and have gotten blessed to be able to work with thousands of different people in different ways to help them improve their lifestyle through different health and fitness protocols. And so I just love being in this industry. It's been very rewarding. And even when I've tried to kind of go away and get into other things, because I do entrepreneurial stuff as well, I always find myself coming back to it. I can't get away from it because it's part of my DNA.
Right.
And so just something I love to do. And, and so I'm just excited to be able to continue to have an audience of people that I can help and inspire, motivate any way that I can for their health and beyond, because really the way I look at it, health is like a well-rounded perspective of mind, body, and spirit. And it's hard to separate any of those. And so when I say health, I'm meaning all three of those things. But
right.
Yeah. So I just hit my 41st birthday today. And
wow.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that backstage, but I really felt like, I wanted to do this intentionally on my birthday as a way just to say, I want to help others, and not have the focus inward, is it's okay. People have that on their birthday, but I want to focus it outward. And I really want to, devote myself to helping others in a variety of different ways. And so what a perfect word that you chose for me. I didn't even choose that word. It's like, you knew that was the word that I may have chosen on myself. So.
Right. Well, that's well, happy birthday. It's kind of amazing for me, and I'm still kind of wrapping my head around this because I've had a number of guests that, they get you guys get to pick what day that you're going to be on the show. And they've picked their birthday, right? And it's like, wow, I get this, I get to celebrate, and you want to, have this meaningful conversation. And then there's the randomness of me picking a word, or this intuitive way that I pick a word, and this word comes up for you on your birthday, and it's really so much you. So how does the word help land for you? How does it really show up in your life?
Well, to start with, I think we got to separate ourselves from the word, I guess,
Mm,
because we often think of help in terms of what we're receiving,
right,
and especially in this culture nowadays, it's become very self absorbed, where everything is about us. It's inward. It's how can I be helped? What can I get out of this? What does this do for me? We
got
kind
it.
of just a la carte choose, what we want, based on what fits us and what helps us. And
Right,
so I think the first step in understanding this word and building a foundation is we have to separate ourselves from it, separate self from help. And in order to realize that the word help should encompass something a lot bigger than ourselves, that it's something that should be an energy, an action that's projected out to people, in order to better other people's lives, and to
right,
sow into a bigger field than just our own little garden, because I love gardening, and I've got a, little to some people, but it's like 1,000 square foot garden.
wow,
And, if that was all my own focus, I could help my family, and maybe a neighbor or two, but it'd be so inward, and it really closes us off when we don't give the right definition to the word, the right context to it. And
right,
so for me, help is a lot bigger picture than how I can help myself. Like, what can I do for myself to make myself better, which that is important in of itself, because
right,
if we're not growing and improving, I mean, it's a lot more difficult to help somebody else and to be able to offer more of yourself to somebody else.
right,
So thinking that, that is already taken care of, that we are working on ourselves, the word help to me, just to get this started, it means something that's attached to a higher purpose, something that,
right,
it's a word that really, it has a lot of layers to it. But overall, I think it's a word that really, when we really apply that word to our surrounding world, it's a life-changing word. It's something that we can offer to somebody that could truly like change their life, in
right,
any different way, whether it's a big change, a small change. But when we realize like how much power we have, um, that we can give to others, that we've been given, but we often like channel that power inward, and we hold on to that power, and we think it's for ourselves, and
right,
it's like we hold on to our help for ourselves, and try to, you know do the best we can for ourselves. But in reality, we become better, and we help ourselves in turn by helping others. I believe there's a transfer of energy, of
right.
power, that happens when we're projecting that out, because then it's like it comes back to us, twofold, tenfold.
Right. Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. You've mentioned a number of areas, of my work and the conversations that I have around self, and the importance of having that self-awareness so that you can be available for other people, so that we can be a part of the collective. And I think for me, how help lands for me, because I've had difficulties with it, is because there's a story that I told myself for a number of years, and I had evidence to prove it, that nobody wanted to help me. Nobody was there for me. Nobody wanted to listen to me. No one, I was not heard. So I did not ask for help.
Mhm.
I did not reach out to people, and I think what what I'm learning, the older that I get, is that the awareness of help connects us to each other. That we're not in
Yeah.
this alone, that we're not supposed to do this alone. There is also an awareness that I believe that sometimes the help comes from yourself. Sometimes you have to, if it's willpower, if it's a lot of other things that we have it within us to help ourselves. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's so the more that I, ask for help, which, and I will admit that sometimes it's still difficult because, the
True.
question is, well, how can they help me? Well, it's not, and it's not really how can they help me. It's like, can you help, right? Right?
Yeah.
We'll figure out the how, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of go from there. And so it's that the more that I acknowledge that help is needed, right? The more that I believe that help is available, and just kind of go from there. So that's how it's shown up for me.
That's great, man. I thought of when you were talking, like help being a two-sided coin. On the
Right,
one side, it's about projecting out, always looking for opportunities to help others in any way that you can, the people that cross your path. But then on the other side of that coin, it's um, inward as well, as far as like helping ourselves to the point where we're ready to go out. Because again, if we're falling apart, and we're not addressing all the internal leaks going on in our own
right,
life and our own body, our mind, then all we're going to do is just spill out on other people. We're not going to be able to
right,
actually help others. So it really is a two-sided coin. And another thing I thought of as you're talking is um, this idea or this notion that God only helps those who help themselves.
hmm,
I've heard that before. I mean, it's
right,
like a common phrase, and a lot of times we just repeat these phrases without actually diving in to realize what do they mean, what are they implying, and when I think of that, initially I used to think, yeah, that sounds great. That's a noble thing because we help ourselves and then God will meet us in that. Well, in reality, I think it works out more like this. God helps those who can't help themselves, or because we can't necessarily help ourselves, we need a connection to a higher source of help.
right,
When we're willing, you mentioned willpower. When we exercise our willpower, free will to look up for where our true help comes from, and we
right,
can receive that help, then that helps us, and then that allows us to then be a channel of help going out, wherever that might land us. But if we're not accessing the main power source,
right,
then we're going to run out of power really fast, or we're going to just be fearful and want to hold on to that little bit of power. Oh, I got all my stuff together,
wow,
and so I'm just going to hold on to what I got, because that helps me to stay in my little bubble or comfort zone, or
wow,
you know instead of thinking, wait a second, I've got my little cup, and that's good for me, it's filled. Instead, hold on, let's get a big like container that can be a conduit that can have help from above flow into it, and then we get some of that for ourselves. We need some of
right.
that to fill us up, but then there's an overflow that we end up taking out. So that
Right.
really put it in perspective for me when I thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think I'm getting hooked on that because until you brought that up, I had no remembrance of, God helps those who help themselves. And I was thinking, okay, what if God helps those get awareness of themselves, right? Right?
Yeah.
That have an awareness of themselves. So it's not like I think that there are a number of conversations of self, and I think one of the conversations is a mature conversation and an immature conversation, right? The
Yeah.
immature conversation is, I think, what we recognize as, a toddler, me, mine, everything's about me, all that other kind of stuff.
Mhm.
That's very immature, but that's a necessary, type of thing. But to really get to a place to a mature understanding of self and awareness of self, there is this awareness that there's only one me. I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a purpose. And I love how you said in the beginning that it's like, I've tried to do other things, but this helping people around their health keeps pulling me back in
Hmm.
because it's me, right? That's,
Yeah.
I came with that, right? And I'm just, the more that I honor that, the more that I can be success in that, the more that I can find enjoyment in that. And it's that type of thing. And so the more that we understand that, I don't know what that noise is. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but there's
Yeah, I'm
some,
not sure.
but hopefully it's not me because I'm trying not to move. But the more that we have that awareness of ourselves,
Hmm.
the more that we can show up fully for others.
Yeah.
And that is something. There's someone that mentioned to me. I think I've heard this. It's kind of funny. Um, I think I would have heard this a lot sooner than like maybe weeks ago. But someone said maybe within these conversations that we are a unique expression of God.
Mm.
And so the more that we show up as in our uniqueness, the more God shows up, you know, in the world as, as us, right? It's like we're not God,
Good.
but we're God, and it's like we miss really showing up the way God intended us to show up because we have no awareness of our uniqueness.
Mm.
And it's like, yes, right? It's like,
Yeah.
that's how I can help people. That's how I can, that's why I'm here at this time. And that is really something that we look at, especially in the entrepreneurial
Yeah.
work and all that other kind of stuff, that you have one entrepreneur that, hey, I made 6 figures because I did this, you can do it too. And it's like, yeah, it worked for you, but it ain't working for me, right? you know
Yeah. It's
you
like
know
trying to fit a square into a circle.
right. And you just, so how can and so here's the question that come up out of that, is that how can we help others, right? Our unique help, right? um and cause them, and not cause them to kind of do what we do, but
Hmm.
be themselves in it. You understand the question? I don't know if the question came out right, but it just feel like, because sometimes when you try to help, people just listen to your words and kind of do what I do, and it's like, it's really not just doing that, but there's an unlocking or helping people, and I'm trying to figure out how we can say, do what I do, but don't do what I do always, type
Yeah.
of thing,
Yeah.
and kind of get what you need and just throw out the rest. I don't know, right?
Yeah. I think it's like I was thinking of a chew the meat and spit out the bones. It's like because there's a lot of good things we can glean from different people,
Right,
and it's not that we like follow exactly in their steps, because they have a different recipe for how it worked for them, and for us it might be part of what they did, and then
right,
part of something else over here. And that's what makes us unique, being able to to kind of put our own recipe together, but do it in a way that I think works best for us, because you mentioned we all are very unique and individual.
right,
And so we're not cookie cutters. So and when we try to do the cookie cutter thing, it doesn't necessarily come out right. And it's the world's not looking for a copycat, and a replica of the same thing. It's looking for each of our unique expression, the way we are wired and designed, and and so I think when we learn to operate in that, and not just trying to follow in somebody's footsteps, is okay. I mean, it's
right,
something that we say, again, one of those phrases that sounds
right,
great on the surface, and it's okay to an extent,
right,
because there's certain fruit that will come about that's good from following in the same direction somebody went in. But you
right,
know there are a lot of different pathways on that same you know main course. Think
right,
of like a mountain, and skiing. I love to ski, and going up there, you're at the top of the mountain, but there's several different runs and ways to get down the mountain, and different levels of difficulty, because we're all kind of wired or designed in a way that we have different capacities for, the level of difficulty we can handle, the assignment we've been given,
Right.
and to what depths or steepness of the path we're
Hmm.
we're going to go
Right.
down. And so we gotta recognize, okay, I'm not going to go down the double black diamond, because
Right.
I'm probably not going to make it down in one piece. So
Right.
there's you got to exercise wisdom in that, but
Right.
realize, okay, I know I'm called and supposed to get down the bottom of this mountain, and there's a way for me to get down there that's going to be best for me, and I'm going to be kind of running in my lane to get
Right.
down there. So you know I think it's a matter of stepping back right away and realizing, it's like, okay, just because this is the fastest way, or just because this particular way, this particular run down the mountain worked best for this person, it doesn't mean I have to take that one. I just
Right.
have to find the one that's going to line up with me, that's going to allow me to get down the mountain,
Right.
healthy, get down the mountain
Right.
in one piece.
In one piece, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's with me, I had a college roommate that really loved skiing, and he would always try to get me to ski. But he was like, "Okay, the first thing you need to learn how to do is fall." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, wait a second." I was like, "What do you mean learn how to fall?" He's like, "Yeah, if you can fall wrong and you can kill yourself." I was like,
Mhm.
"Dude." I was like, I fall without thinking. I don't want, I don't want to fall right, right? So
Yeah,
it's like, I don't think skiing is for me if I have to think about how I fall, right? So,
yeah.
but yeah, I think what you were saying, that there is a level of self-awareness of where you're going to go and how you're going to tackle the next task, getting, to your goal, if it's down the mountain or up the mountain, or how it is, there is an awareness of what I can bring to the situation. The one thing that I wanted to bring to this conversation, also too, is, I've been told in the past that I have a helper's heart. And I was like, because, just kind of, someone have a need, and just kind of show up. But there were many times when I didn't know how I could help. I just felt like I was in the way, you know? And it's like, yeah, I can have a helper's heart, but if I have no awareness of how I can help
Hmm.
or what I can do to help, I'm just like in the way. Is that have you seen that, or have you felt that too with trying to help people?
I think of an example, like maybe a simple one that could put that in illustration is helping somebody move. And there was a
Right.
friend one time that I went to go help move, and I didn't realize that there were going to be 30 other people there
Right.
helping him move, and he really didn't have a lot of stuff. So it was a great show of heart and a willingness to
Right.
come and help and serve, and come together. But what actually ended up happening was there were so many people that it took longer than it would have had we had less
Right.
really, people focused. So what ended up happening is, like, you're there, and you're wanting to help. I've got that kind of servant heart as well. So I love to serve and help others, and so I'm wanting to pick up heavy stuff, and stay busy moving. But I literally had to stand there, and for several minutes at a time, sometimes just waiting for the next box or something I could carry,
Right.
or just getting onto a truck.
Right.
And in that case, it was like, I'm wanting to help, but I felt like, there's nothing I could do. Like, if I tried in that moment, if I tried to go help, what I'd end up doing is I'd get in somebody's way.
Right.
I would, you know, I'd be clogging things up,
Right.
or it wouldn't be productive moving. And so, in the simple sense, I think it's easy sometimes for us to, find ourselves wanting to help others, but
Right.
then struggling with, like, what does that look like? How can I help without actually, like, feeling like I'm burdening somebody, or I'm forcing this on somebody? Because it's like, we can't. If we try to force help, it ends up not actually becoming help. Then it turns into something else that
Right.
ends up kind of backfiring. So I feel like, when we realize that we all have a capacity or capability to help in some way, and realizing that there's a certain time and place for it too. So
Right.
it's like we can't be constantly in the mindset of 24/7 help. There are times, okay, I got to step back and I got to take care of myself or my family, or I've got to focus on one area of my life, before I can try to force myself into something else that's actually focused on somebody else and helping them. And so
Right.
I think there are seasons for it,
Right.
and so we got to realize it's like sometimes we're maybe sitting on the shelf with it, and other times we're in seasons of like really serving and helping, and and kind of an ebb and flow of that. And so when we realize it's not always constantly where we're having to be there helping people. But I
Right.
think as far as seasons go, back when this quarantine first started, it was like end of March, and and we never know where like our help comes from. So it's interesting how sometimes we're not even looking for it,
Right.
that it comes and finds us. And so just a quick example is this lady saw that I had posted on Facebook that I was going to be getting some guys together to do a workout at my then studio. And so she asked me, this is like around the end of March again. She said, are you going to be doing more of those kind of group workouts during this quarantine? And all of a sudden I was like, oh, the light bulb went off. And I thought, what a great idea,
Hmm.
because I didn't know, because I knew the quarantine was coming, and I was trying to figure out how can I help people in this time,
Right.
because there's been a lot of people needing help, trying to sort it out, trying to figure it out.
Right.
So I was trying to come up with some way that I could help people in this quarantine, but I wasn't sure. And it came from this unsuspecting lady who just
Right.
simply said, "Are you going to be doing any more of these exercise classes?" And then that's when the light bulb went off, and I said, "You know what? That is a great idea. As a matter of fact, let me think about that and come up with a plan." And um, so then it occurred to me that I was going to do live workouts. So
Hmm.
Monday through Friday mornings at 9 a.m., I did live workouts for 10 weeks during the quarantine.
Right.
And so, for me, that was a way that presented itself to me that I wasn't even looking. I think sometimes those are the best opportunities that kind
Right.
of present themselves, and being aware of those opportunities, having that awareness to recognize, wow, this was an opportunity to put in my path that I can turn around and help people with. And so for 10 weeks, we had somewhere around 5,000 workouts done during that time, and had a lot of private messages, people telling me just how much it helped them during the
Right.
time, and had great workouts. And um, so it was just something that I was able to do,
Right.
and then it was a matter of then making the decision, taking the action step to actually do it and implement it, and then be consistent with it over a long enough period of time. So
Right.
so for me, it was just having enough awareness,
Right.
and humility to think like, oh wow, this, instead of writing this person off and saying, oh, what is she talking about? Why am I going to do classes during the quarantine? And that this time I was actually making a move out of my fitness studio that I'd had for 10
Right.
years. And so I had a lot of things that I could have easily, deflected that opportunity to help people that presented itself to me. But instead, I stepped back, I reflected on it, and I realized, um, this is something, and it lined up with me too. It felt right. I didn't
Right.
feel forced. To me, it was like real smooth transition into doing that. And then, it, a lot of fruit came out of it. So I think that's a big sign as well. Like when we're truly helping with the right heart,
Right.
and not trying to force it, then we see fruit that comes out of it.
Right. There, I can totally get that. And I think there were some of the mornings that I joined you in those workouts. But
Awesome.
I could see how that there's an ease to help, right? Anytime that I feel like I was helping for the wrong reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, confession time, right?
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it was like, there was a force, there was at odds. I will tell you that when you were talking about using the example of moving, um, I've kind of put like I want to say a kibosh on helping anybody move. And I just hire someone. I
Yeah.
don't ask anybody because of one person. When I think we were right after college, and this lovely young lady asked for help to move, and there was a team of us that showed up, and it was so bad that we like asked her a couple times, are you moving today?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw moving boxes, but we
Uh-huh.
still saw her stuff all over the place. So this
Yeah.
was a packing and moving day. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
And it was like, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. Right? So, and,
Yeah.
and I think what I learned from that, or what I got from that, and I'm sure that I probably can help somebody move again, um, but we have to be clear about how we need help. How we need help, right? So there's a
Yeah.
responsibility on how we need help, or what we currently believe that we need help with, and what we can give the person that is giving help, what they can what how they can contribute to that, what they're a part of it. I mean, because there has been a number of times, in my um business career, entrepreneurial career, is that, I would put out a help call, and, people show up and they do what they want to do, but not what I needed them to do. And it's like, you're not helping, you know,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
right. Yeah.
and it's like,
Much above our own
and it's
direction.
like, right. And it's like, I am working hard to kind of be grateful that you're here, but you're not helping, right? Right.
Yeah.
And just being okay with with basically letting people know that, you know, there is some activities if you're not going in the right direction. And it reminded me of an experience of doing water rafting.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you've ever done that before, but
Yeah.
that is, for me, I think I had like 20 near death experiences,
Yeah.
in those 2 hours, because it's
Yeah.
like you're going fine, and this, oh my God, there's
Mhm.
another one, right? But
Yeah.
what I got from it, with having our leader telling us what side you're on, and it's fair. There are so many lessons in there, but anytime that there was somebody in the boat other than the leader that knew better and wanted to say, "Oh, I'm going to do this," it's like, dude, don't do that, because now we're going in a circle, right? You
Yeah.
need to do what we're calling, what we're all supposed to do. If you're supposed to go back or you're supposed to go forward, that's what we're doing right now. But anytime that this gentleman, and I will not reach his name, but I was like, "You are going to kill us," right? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
because because you know better, right?
Mhm.
Because you think, and it's like sometimes when we're being asked to help, or asked to, we think because of everything that we know, we kind of get ahead of everything, but um, there's still this unique way that we have to, I guess, show up for a situation, to really offer help. And so, like I said, it's funny. Sometimes it's difficult, but I think help is, extending help, and the awareness of help. Um, I don't want to say it's, a distant relationship, relative of gratitude, but there's a level of gratitude and appreciation that comes along with our helping. And I don't know if it's just feelings or something, but it feels like the more that I'm um, aware of that I need help or I can help, there's a level of gratitude or appreciate, or something that kind of shows up for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
That just
Fulfillment.
yeah, fulfillment. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the word. And just kind of being that, and it's just really, with that in mind, why would I fight that? Why is that, why do I feel like I'm conditioned not to ask of help, or kind of limit my helping? I just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
That
don't know.
actually, well, I'll tell you, you know, I think continuing from that point, going back to your whitewater rafting example, is that I think of we often, are not willing or aware of receiving help,
Mm.
and what the domino effect can be after that. So, I think being on a raft, and I've been rafting a few times. We had a near-death experience as well.
Right.
Not me, but somebody else on the raft. And we had another episode where, because I didn't receive the guide's instruction,
Right.
the help he was trying to give. And it was, I do confess it was because I didn't really hear him, but I should have still known better. But when we hit the first rapid, I was postured straight up instead of hunkered down. And
Right.
so, because I was not accepting the help of the raft guide,
Hmm.
I ended up getting ejected from the
Wow.
raft.
Wow.
And in the process of doing that, one of my paddles, which those things are like hard as steel,
Right.
flung around and hit one of my buddies right where it counts. And
Oh.
so he's like rolling around on the raft. I'm under the raft,
Right.
trying to get my bearings. And
Wow.
all because I didn't receive the help of the raft guide. And so I think of it, how important it is for us to receive help when it's offered to us, and especially in a setting where we're kind of unaware. Like I didn't know how to navigate the waters, and so you've got to kind of humble yourself and receive the help, because I think that's really like the thing that's disguised in not receiving help.
Right.
I think it's pride, maybe more than anything. Like, oh, I don't need help. Oh no, I can do this myself. I'll figure it out. And it usually always backfires on us. We're the ones that get hit hard, but then it can affect others, like my buddy in the raft. And so I think when we don't receive help, when it's being offered genuinely and receive it with wisdom, we not just put ourselves at risks, we can put other people at risk as well.
Right.
And so then that can set off a domino effect. And so I think it's a kind of checking our pride, and we all, I'm sure, have it flare up at different times. I know I have,
Right.
where I've been quick to not receive things from people, whether it be help or anything. Just like I was talking with somebody about my birthday, and I normally don't celebrate. I did last year. We actually went whitewater rafting last year for my 40th. But
wow.
I typically, besides that year, I don't recognize my birthday usually or expect anything from it. I just kind of let it go. But, and I have a hard time receiving when people want to give me a gift or, hey, let's do this. Let's go out and do this. I just instantly want to, put my hand up to it. And I don't, and they're, in a sense, they're wanting to help me out of a genuine sense of, wanting to help and honor and help me with my day, And so my thing is, it's like, I'm like, no, I'm going to reject that. No, I don't want to receive that. And when we do that, it actually, I've found that it kind of robs the other person of them genuinely wanting to help. So another component of that is just, again, help isn't about us. It's about others, and you'd mentioned it's like it kind of connects us all when we realize, that help given or help received, it benefits both parties.
Right. Yeah. Wow. You just reminded me. I was the same way around my birthday, feeling that it wasn't. In some cases, it wasn't that I wanted to. A part of it was, as a kid, I didn't want to be disappointed and all that other kind of stuff. Of okay, this is what I want, and we can't afford this, and so I want things that my mom couldn't afford. And then it was just like, you know what? I just got tired of asking, right? It's like it's just like, all right, we get what I get, or you know what? I don't want anything, right? It's like, but I realized that, I'm married to someone that celebrates the whole month. So, so it's not just a day. So she's been helping me over the years kind of embrace my birthday, right? It's like,
right.
But
start with the day and then we'll work into,
So she'll work me up to a month, right? But it is really, got to a place that I really like appreciate that, hey, hey, my friends are just kind of helping me have a great day, right? And it's just helping me and just acknowledging me for who I am. I know, we have some mutual friends, and I know how much, we love you, and just gonna honor you on your birthday, and other days, because not just of what you do for us, around our health, or anything like that, but just who you are. You're just such a giving, dare I say, helpful, person, that, you just don't want to do anything, but kind of reciprocate that. I think we can talk about this for hours. But is there any last thing before you go fully celebrate your birthday that you want to leave with everyone?
One more thing that did come to mind is, just being aware of opportunities to help people, and because especially in these times that we're in right now, I mean, even something really simple, at our church service yesterday, one of the guys shared there that he went into a food line, and typically, like in places of shopping like that right now, a lot of people are wearing masks, and not to get into that whole thing, but there's this kind of like this gloom and doom, kind of this Debbie Downer mindset. People are in there, and people almost, it's like they're robotic, and they're not interacting with each other, and it's just this kind of bad spirit the whole thing creates. And so he has this mindset, and he went into a food line recently. He's like, you know what? I'm going to break through that, and so he just starts cutting up with the people in there, just like, I'm going to go have a good time. I'm going to help these people in there. And it's just like a little 5-minute interaction. He had like 5 people involved with something funny, and they're laughing, having a good time. And some even said, "This is the happiest food line I've ever been in." And it's like, just something simple like that. He helped those people, and it probably made their day, their week. It shifted their spirit. And so, I think just having the realization that, we all have the capability, the power to help others. And even in the small things, it's like, we don't got to go drop $1,000 in somebody's lap, or, go do something like extraordinary, buy somebody a new car or whatever. But sometimes it's as simple as getting some people laughing, or just checking in. Hey, just thought about you today. How's it going? And being positioned, just kind of being open to help people, however it might show up. And I heard somebody say it this way one time: if you're ever driving, or you're going about your day, sitting at your desk, whatever, and somebody's name pops in your head, contact them right away. Whether it's a phone call, a text, a message, just a little shout out. It might take you 10, 20, 30 seconds, and just send them a little shout out and check in, because you never know what that might mean. And I'll share something kind of a little somber, I guess, or sober, to end with, but I think it really drives the point home, is that there was somebody that my wife knew, and she hadn't talked to this person in quite a while, and she got this strong urge to just, like, again, his name popped up in her head, and so she decided she was going to give this person a call, because she's like, it was so strong. She is like, the name was right there, flashing. And so she gives this person a call, and little did she know that this person was on the verge of committing suicide. Right there in that moment, possibly minutes away. And had she not acted on that, God forbid, what would have happened?
Wow.
And so, not to end with something heavy like this, but it's so important, because we never know what that little bit of help we might do. Maybe it's that smile, getting somebody to laugh. We have no clue what somebody's going through, especially in these times. Like, the suicide rates have skyrocketed. The amount of anxiety and stress, and just things weighing people down, and burdens, and all of these things. I mean, it's got people's spirit pushed down. Hopelessness is just like running rampant out there. And so, being aware that we have the power, a little bit of help that we can offer the world every day, in whatever way that is, we could save a life, change a life.
Great. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. I have your website there for people can contact you. You're on the social medias, as they say, right? Right.
Yes.
And so people can connect with you. But
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I did get out of this conversation is, your last point. It doesn't have to be a big help. A little
Exactly.
help will go a long way. Well,
Yes.
thank you, my friend. This has been great. We typically say our goodbyes in the green room. If you're able to stay there, I'll end the show, and then we'll say our goodbyes there. But this has been great.
Okay. Excellent. Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow, that was a great conversation. I think the one there's a number of things, and I think I said this the other day that I'm going to have to watch this show again so I can get some things out. But the one thing, the last point of that, it's the small things that we never know, and it could be just in somebody's name, or it could be desire. It could be just a fleeting thought. That could make a difference for someone, and for yourself, and that is something, and that our helping or help, our awareness of help connects us to each other. That we can not just help ourselves, but we can help someone else, and someone else can help us. So I hope this conversation was of value to you. It is always my desire that this is not just a time that, a time waster or anything like that. But if there's any conversations like this or other that you would like to have with me, you can reach out to me at IamWilliamBrown.com. I have a free coaching session. The first one is complimentary, that we can see how I can help. Because the world wants you, the world needs you, and the world is waiting for you. So go be you. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow on One Word Conversations.